Blunt Heads, Blunt World, Blunt Universe. What's going on? I'm your host with the most here to brag, both celebrate, toast, and we like to smoke. I'm Tay the Loose Cannon Adams. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all happen to be here with me, and I appreciate that. Here to let y'all know that the blunt is now in session. It's a couple topics that's got me smoking. Let's see what we be smoking on right now. First and foremost, you like this video and you like other videos, please continue to like, subscribe, and share to the Very Blunt Sports Podcast YouTube page, also the Nubian Blaze YouTube page, and all our fan pages that we got going on Facebook. Thank you, in advance. Like I said, the smoke is now in the air. The blunt is in session. What's got us smoking? First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to all my wrestling fans. As everybody know, I'm one of them too. What's going on is WrestleMania season. Now, before we get into WrestleMania, which is a 2-night event on Saturday and Sunday at the top of April, the Hall of Fame induction is going on. So before WrestleMania, we got the Hall of Fame, meaning the headliner for the Hall of Fame is none other than The Undertaker, the dead man, the phenom, whatever you want to call him, Mr. WrestleMania, the streak, all of that. He is that. Undertaker going into the Hall of Fame. Big ups to that. Also going into the Hall of Fame would be Big Van Vader. What else can you say about him? Very good athletic big man. Everybody that might have watched, TGIF back in the day growing up in the 90s and watched Boy Meets World would have saw that Vader was on there. He was the dad of one of the kids that was a bully or some shit like that, but definitely big ups to him. And last but not least is Psycho Sid Vicious, whatever you want to call him, SID. Found out that it stood for the acronym. It stands for Suddenly I Dominated. So big ups to those dudes that's going into the Hall of Fame. Got to give a shout out to all of my wrestling fans. Like I said, I'm one of them. And I'm going to be going to one of the events that's coming in Erie, which is my hometown, 814. We up in here. And I'm taking my kids, me and my lady, we taking our kids, so definitely going to be a good event to go to. Like I said, I'm a huge wrestling fan, always will be. I ain't going to try to hide it or deny it. But off of that, now, Cain Velasquez, he's a UFC fighter. He was in WWE for a hot minute, not that long, one match. Now, the situation that's going on with him is, now he allegedly shot a man that was allegedly doing some things to his daughter in the sexual nature, basically molestation, rape, whatever, you want to call it. I know this topic might be a little bit sensitive to some people, and I really ain't trying to offend, but these are just my thoughts and what I've been thinking right about now. All I'm doing is I'm just taking out this time to give you a piece of my mind and smoke on this subject and let y'all know how I feel about it. Now, if this person was touching on his daughter, doing things that he shouldn't have been doing, then by all means, I'm going to say that Cain Velasquez is justified for doing what he did. Now, before I even became a podcaster, I was a dad first. Before I was a dad first, I'm a man. And a man got a natural instinct to want to protect his home or protect what is his. I got kids. Any parent, any man that could relate to this would know that you would do anything for your kids, you would die for them, and hell, you would kill for them. And so a part of me can't even get mad at Cain Velasquez if that is the situation. If this guy was touching on his daughter and doing things that he wasn't even supposed to be doing, then I don't think what Cain did was wrong at all. Sometimes I understand that it's innocent until proven guilty. But in some places, and especially with some races, it's the other way around. But in some predicaments and in some situations, and from what I've seen and what I've gone through with the whole judicial system and everything like that, is those people, these rapists and these pedophiles and shit, they don't get no time. They don't get no slap on the wrist. I mean, they do get a slap on the wrist. I ain't gonna say that they don't. They do. I worded that wrong. But all they get is a slap on the wrist. And the little bit of time that they do get is basically a slap in the wrist, and they don't justify they crime. The crime and the time, it don't add up. The time is actually lesser, where the crime is actually way high. Just my opinion. But I'm saying that to say this. From what I've seen and from what I basically seen, they don't get no time. These rapists and these pedophiles, they really don't get no time. And then that makes the family feel like justice wasn't served at all. And it makes you wonder, why should you even believe in the judicial system when these rapists and these pedophiles don't get no time at all? But somebody who sells drugs, they get the book thrown at them. I ain't justifying selling drugs, but y'all shouldn't try to justify, that this person that touches on kids has a mental problem. Well, no shit. We know that there's something wrong with them by even associating themselves or being around some kids and doing that in that manner. Like I said, I know this topic, I know this subject, it might push a little buttons. Some people might not feel or agree with what I got to say, but these is my feelings. You can feel how you want to feel. You entitled to that. But let me know how you feel. You can comment underneath if it's too touchy of a topic or subject for, I understand. But we ain't going to be on that long. All I'm saying is, if the guy did it, I don't see nothing wrong with what Cain Velasquez did. And that's all I'm saying about that. But we going on into some football news right now. All the willing and dealing that's been going on in the NFL, all of the biggest news that's been going on. But first and foremost, got to say something about the Calvin Ridley situation. Calvin Ridley used to play for the Atlanta Falcons. Now he was caught gambling. He had placed a $1,500 bet. Now the thing about, first and foremost, I'm going to say he shouldn't have did that. If you're going to do the wrong thing, do it right. Like, you shouldn't have left no type of paper trail that would have had led back to you. You could have put these emails in somebody else's name, or you could have had it tracked through whatever. There's always ways around it. People are scamming shit every day. Y'all probably don't want to hear it, but this is the life that we in. This is the world that we live in. People scamming shit every day and getting away with it and doing it differently, or however the case may be. You shouldn't have had nothing tracked back to you. Now, the thing about it is, he wasn't with the team at the time that he was doing. He had took some time off. But the thing about it is, he was still employed by the NFL. And the rules is, as far as the gambling is concerned, is if you're a football player, you can't gamble on football games. You can gamble on basketball games. You can gamble on hockey games. You can't gamble and take and place bets within your sport. That's just a rule on what they do. You could have had somebody else do it. You could have had whoever. You could have did it a whole lot differently, but you left a paper trail, and that's what caught you up, and that's what slipped you up, for real. Now, I just want to read something from Demario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. Now, he said, so players are suspended whole seasons for betting on games, but when there are rumors about the team owners paying coaches to lose games, we're supposed to act like we don't see that. He got a good point. Anybody that don't know what he's talking about the Miami Dolphins and the Brian Flores situation. Also a situation with the Cleveland Browns, too, about them paying coaches to take dives, basically to lose the game. Now, the difference between that situation and the Calvin Ridley situation is like Demario Davis said. The incident about the owners, the rumors, that's what it is. It's a rumor. can't really prove nothing right now. I ain't gonna sit here and say that it didn't happen or that it don't go on. All I'm gonna say is they didn't get caught. They didn't leave no paper trail. They didn't leave nothing linking them to anything. All they got is one person's word. We ain't saying Brian Flores is wrong, but all we got is his word and his accusations. Now, if somebody come forward with some information, with a paper trail, with some paperwork or anything like that, then we'll have to believe the paperwork. We just gonna have to believe that and see where it leads us. But right now, it's rumors. Now, the gambling in sports, it's a real slippery slope. You could look at it from a lot of different ways. Was he betting on this team to win? Was he betting on this team to lose? Throughout the different weeks of the NFL, was he giving money to players on the other team saying, hey, take this dive, let my team win? We don't know. We don't know. That's why it's a slippery slope. Now, he's suspended for all the next season, giving up a salary of $11 million. Now, he ain't the only player that, in the history of football right now, he ain't the only player that got caught. There's been other players that has been caught, and some of the biggest crimes about it, they've been banned from the league. They won't be able to play no more. I don't know if this situation gonna happen with Calvin Ridley like that. Maybe he could go to the XFL, maybe he could go to the USFL, or maybe he could go to Canada. Who knows? Hopefully he don't get banned, but the history done showed even back in the 60s when they caught players doing this, they banned them from the league. So hopefully his situation work out for him. Hopefully something greater and something better could come his way. And that's basically, all the smoke I'm going to give on that. Now, the Green Bay Packers and the bad man Aaron Rodgers, they agreed to stay together. I guess they went to counseling. They fixed their issues. They fixed their problems. They want to rekindle the love. They found the love again, just when you thought that, it wasn't no use of holding on, when the love was gone, boom, came back full circle, now they solid as a rock. So definitely, big ups to them in getting that situation right now. It was a report that he agreed to a 4-year, $200 million contract extension that was included with $153 million guarantee, for the foul up. Now, he said that wasn't the source of the money. That wasn't the true story or whatever the case may be. But you never really know with Aaron Rodgers right now. Some people calling him a media whore. Some people calling him an attention seeker, drama queen, whatever the case may be. He's staying in Green Bay, and hopefully we won't have to go through this again with him about whether if he's staying or he's going. Now, Russell Wilson. I said something a couple weeks ago, matter of fact, a couple months ago during the season, that the Seattle defense, the Seattle Seahawks as a whole, as an organization, something was going to have to shake up, something was going to have to give, whether if it was going to be Pete Carroll or if it was going to be Russell Wilson. We wound up finding out that it's Russell Wilson. Not saying that he was the problem, but he out of Seattle right now. He on his way to Green Bay. I mean, not Green Bay, He on his way to Denver. He's a Bronco now. Now, the Broncos get him, and they also get a 4th-round draft pick. Now, the Seahawks, they get quarterback Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick. So, who y'all think got the better end of that deal? Who y'all think got the better end of that situation and that trade? Leave that comment underneath. Let me know. Now, like I said, it's a whole lot of stuff that's been going on, a whole lot of NFL action, willing and dealing. Like, even in the off season, the season don't stop because there's a whole bunch of trades and everything going on, free agency, all of the windows, the floodgates is open, and the draft ain't even get here yet. You got to put that in your mind too. The Chicago Bears, they trade offensive linebacker Khalil Mack they trade him to LA to the Chargers. Now the Chargers gave up a 2022 second round pick and a 2023 sixth round pick for Khalil Mack. So who y'all think got the better end out of that deal? You know what? I'm going to smoke on this real quick. I'm going to smoke on this Chicago Bears pack now. To me, they act like they don't want to win. They act like they just don't care about winning. Like, what's in their culture, from their coach to the situations of not knowing, who to start as the quarterback to everything. You might as well say, now that the Bears got rid of Khalil Mack, they just handed the Green Bay Packers the division until Aaron Rodgers feel like he don't want to be in Green Bay no more. Basically, I don't know what the Bears is thinking. I don't know what they smoking. But it ain't the shit that I like to smoke, because getting rid of Khalil Mack, that was a dumb decision. I'm going to just come flat out and say it. And I got peoples in Chicago. I know Chicago Bears fans, but come on, man. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I don't think winning is in y'all culture. Like, I'm going to just call it what it is. It ain't in y'all culture. That's really what it's looking like. I just don't know what else to say about that. Like I said, we're going to go on to something else. Now, if y'all ain't know about the Deshaun Watson situation, he was being accused of sexual assault by 22 different women. I'm sure he happy about the outcome of his case. They won't be bringing him to trial. They won't be bringing up any charges on him. He been wanted out of Houston before this incident even happened. And so he getting his wish. Not only his wish to get out of Houston, but he's getting his wish to redeem himself, redeem his reputation, even though it was tarnished a little bit by accusations. But now that these accusations is gone, he could put this behind him, and can't nobody really say much about it. Can't nobody even really bring it up to tarnish him no more about it or down him, because he made it out that situation. Now, like I said, he been wanted out of Houston way before this situation even happened. He got his wish. Where y'all think he gonna go? He could go to Seattle. They got a spot open. He could go to Pittsburgh, Miami. Who y'all want to see Deshaun Watson with? Like I said, leave that comment underneath. Let me know. We'll smoke on that subject a little bit more after this show and really get down to it to see what y'all think. Like I said, I appreciate all the likes, comments, and shares. Please keep them coming. We all in this together. We all in this in the spirit of camaraderie and competitiveness. So always know that. Now we're going to get on to something else. Former Minnesota Vikings cornerback Jeff Gladney has been found not guilty for assault. Definitely good for him. Hopefully he can find a team now that, his accusations are all cleared up. Now we're going to be talking about the Colts and the Washington Commanders. And the will and the dealing that they made. First off, I want to smoke on this real quick. Washington Commanders. It took y'all 2 years to come up with that dumb-ass, corny-ass name. Why the Commanders out of everything that y'all could think of? There's rumors about the Washington Red Wolves, the Washington Warriors, the Washington Cobras. Any of those 3 names that y'all could have picked and sound better and still went with the color scheme, but y'all chose the Washington Commanders. I still don't like that name, but hey, it ain't up for me to like, but it's just my view and my opinion on it. Now, the Indianapolis Colts trade quarterback Carson Wentz to the Washington Commanders. Colts get Washington's 2022 third-round pick and 2023 third-round pick that can be a second-round pick if Carson Wentz plays 70% of the offensive snaps. Commanders are taking on the remainder of Carson Wentz's contract. Basically, they're going to be paying him what the Colts would have been paying him, the Commanders, that is. And I don't even know what to really say too much about this, but I do got a lot to say about it, if it do make sense. With this, first off, he's going back into the NFC East. If y'all didn't know, he was with Philly, he was with the Eagles. Carson Wentz do got a Super Bowl ring, but any Eagles fan, any football fan would know that that ain't his ring. He got him close, but he tripped at the finish line. Yeah, he got hurt, yeah, and he ain't been the same. But Nick Foles took it and carried it along the rest of the way, beating Peyton Manning and the Patriots. Beating Tom Brady and the Patriots. Excuse me about all of that. But now he's back in the NFC East with the Commanders. And the Commanders, they got a good defense, but they keep blowing and going through quarterbacks. And I think Carson Wentz is on his last leg, probably in the NFL. Well, I ain't going to say in the NFL entirely. I'm going to say in the NFL as a starter. You know, if he don't do good with the Commanders, he's going to be second string or maybe even third string, and then possibly being a journeyman and being bounced up out of the league. Carson Wentz had one job. Him and the Colts had one job, and that was just to beat the Jaguars, and they would have been in the playoffs, and the Steelers wouldn't have been in the playoffs, but they couldn't even beat one of the worst teams in the NFL last year. So in that NFC East division, you got the Dallas Cowboys, the Washington Commanders, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the New York Giants. The Giants is going through their woes and problems. The Commanders been had woes and problems way before they was the Commanders, when they was the football team, and when they was the Redskins before they was the football team. They had problems and woes and everything going on. And I honestly feel with this move that the Colts did actually relieved them of Carson Wentz and put him back into the NFC East, where basically him being with the Commanders and their problems and their woes, they just made it a lot easier for the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles to come in and swoop and win that division. So that's just how I feel. Carson Wentz is a bum. If y'all ain't get what I was saying, if y'all didn't read between the lines or got the metaphors or whatever, you want to call it, Carson Wentz is a bum. He's the bum god. There ain't no way around it. Now we got, speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, them in Cleveland. They did a little willing and dealing, a little trading. For who? Good you ask. Now, they traded for wide receiver Amari Cooper. He's going to the Browns. And with him going to the Browns, in exchange for a 5th-round draft pick and a 6th-round draft pick, basically the Browns and the Cowboys are swapping picks. All in all, in a nutshell, that's what they doing. Do y'all think they lowballed? Do you think the Dallas Cowboys lowballed Amari Cooper? Do y'all think that he's worth more than the 5th and 6th round draft pick? Let me know. I like to know these things. I do think that the Cowboys did lowball that deal a little bit for a 5th and 6th round pick. I do think Amari Cooper is worth more than that. At least 2nd or 3rd. Like, Dallas shouldn't have did the homie dirty like that. But they're cleaning house a little bit. Starting with Amari Cooper, and on top of that, Dak Prescott is reconstructing his deal, and Zach Martin reconstructing his deal to free up $22 million in cap space. I can understand why they did certain things, money issues, because in a couple of years, Micah Parsons is going to get paid. Diggs, he wants to get paid, and rightfully so, because they put life back into the Dallas Cowboys defense that ain't had a defense in the past 15 to 20 some odd years, maybe even longer than that, if you really been watching the games and things like that. But the Browns, on the other hand, now they getting Amari Cooper, but now they telling Jarvis Landry, hey, you could go somewhere else. You could take your talent somewhere else. You could go get a trade, go somewhere else, change the scenery, get your bag, do what you need to do. Now, with the Browns doing that, they're saving $14.87 million in cap space by releasing or trading Landry. Basically, what I'm saying and what y'all seeing is Jarvis Landry ain't going to be a Brown next year. He ain't going to be with the Browns because they're going to find some type of way to get that money, to have that cap space open back up to them so they can spend that money to maybe attract other players or a player, who knows. What y'all think about all of this wheeling and dealing that's been going on in the NFL? Was your favorite team involved? Did you hear about your favorite team? Would you like to hear about your favorite team? Leave in comments underneath. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the Very Blunt Sports Podcast YouTube page. Also the Nubian Blaze YouTube page. Got a lot of music coming out there. Got a lot of music coming your way. 2022, we blaze into 100K. We out here grinding. We out here trying to get it. Thank all of y'all for the love and support. I appreciate everything. I really do. And with that being said, the blunt is now out. Smoke is clear. Session is over. Love yours. I'm Tay, your host with the most. Here to brag, boast, celebrate, toast. And we just got done smoking, so peace be with you.
I don't need a fucking cosigner to post rhymes for controversy. I'm calculated, your validation does not concern me. You created a character you can market, but I'm sharp enough to sharpen my view whenever you charge him. I can